Do you ever feel stuck, like you're giving it your all, but nothing seems to work? Like every attempt is just more proof that maybe you're not good enough? If this sounds familiar, know that you're not alone. Everyone, at some point, faces obstacles that seem insurmountable. But here's the truth. Your failures don't define you. They're just part of the process. What separates those who win from those who give up is not luck, but the ability to turn defeats into learning and move on. In this video, you'll discover how to change your mindset to see challenges as opportunities, develop resilience and bounce back even when all seems lost. I'll show you practical strategies for overcoming difficult times and finding clarity even in the worst situations. So, if you've ever wondered how to turn difficulties into fuel for your success, stick with me until the end, because it could completely change how you approach your journey. Have you ever felt stagnant, as if you were stuck in an endless cycle of failed attempts? As if every time you took one step forward, something pulled you back too? If you've ever experienced this, you're not alone. The feeling of failure and a lack of direction are common experiences, especially for those who are starting to build their careers or trying to find their way. But here's the truth. What defines your success is not the number of times you fail, but what you do with those failures. In this video, you'll discover how to turn every defeat into a stepping stone to victory. I'll show you strategies that will change the way you face challenges and give you practical tools to keep going, regardless of the difficulties. So, if you want to learn how to overcome obstacles and turn failures into fuel for your growth, stick with me until the end, because this could completely change the way you approach your journey. Most people view failure in the worst possible light. They see a mistake as a sign that they're not good enough, as if every stumble is confirmation that they should give up. But why does this happen? Because from an early age we are conditioned to believe that failure is something negative. From school onwards, we are punished for mistakes instead of being encouraged to learn from them. This thinking creates an invisible barrier that prevents us from trying again, from taking risks, from learning from our own experiences. But now think about the people you most admire. Great entrepreneurs, athletes, artists. They all have something in common. They failed over and over again before achieving success. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before he revolutionized technology. Michael Jordan was cut from his school basketball team before becoming one of the greatest players of all time. The difference between them and most people? They didn't let their failures define them. The big key to overcoming lies in the way you see your failures, and that starts with a change of mentality. Instead of seeing an obstacle as a roadblock, start seeing it as a detour, a learning opportunity. Every mistake carries a lesson. But in order to absorb that lesson, you need to be willing to face your failures head-on and ask yourself, what can this teach me? Often, the pain of defeat blinds our vision, making us believe that we have failed irreversibly. But what if, instead of lamenting, you stop to analyze each mistake as a piece of data, as valuable information for adjusting your trajectory? Do this exercise now. Think of a recent failure, something that hurt you, that made you feel small. Now ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? How can I use it to become better? This simple change of perspective can transform your life. Now that you understand the importance of reprogramming your mind to see failure as learning, let's move on to the practical part. How do you overcome obstacles efficiently? Here are 3 rules that can help you. Rule number 1. Develop emotional resilience. You need to learn to recover quickly from difficult moments. Life is not about avoiding falls, but about how you get up after them. When something goes wrong, instead of dwelling on the pain, ask yourself, how can I get back on my feet more quickly this time? Rule number 2. Change your narrative. Instead of telling yourself you're a failure, start building a different story. Think of each defeat as a chapter in your journey of growth. If you keep trying, your story isn't over yet. Rule number 3. Maintain continuous action. Many people give up not because they can't, but because they are paralyzed by fear. The only way to overcome this paralysis is to keep moving, even one small step at a time. Progress may be slow, but it's always better than stagnation. But what about when everything seems to be against you? How do you stay motivated when every attempt seems futile? The answer lies in the environment you build around yourself. The people you hang out with, the content you consume, the beliefs you feed on a daily basis. All of this influences your mindset. If you're surrounded by negativity, it's much harder to stay motivated. So protect your energy. Avoid comparing yourself to others and focus only on your own evolution. When you feel like you're about to give up, remember why you started in the first place. Have a clear vision of what you want to achieve and use that as fuel to keep going. Another important point is to understand that growth is not linear. There will be moments of progress and moments of setbacks, and that's normal. The important thing is not to lose sight of the end goal. Now, before I close, I want you to remember one thing. Failure doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that you're trying. And every attempt brings you closer to your goal. What separates people who achieve great things from those who give up is persistence. So if there's something you really want to achieve, keep going. Learn from your mistakes, adjust your course, and keep going. You have more strength than you think. Now, tell me in the comments, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from failure? I want to know how you've turned your defeats into learning. And if this video made sense to you, share it with someone who also needs to hear this message. See you in the next video.